Hi everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. In today's tutorial, we're going to be using our Cricut Joy Xtra. Now before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make holographic stickers with your Cricut Joy Xtra. One of the things that I really love about this little compact machine is that this does do print and cut. You don't have to do any hacks or crazy little tricks to make it work, and this thing is nice and compact. It is a really cool little machine. Now this does a great job with print and cut, as you're going to see in this video. I'm going to show you how to maximize the space that you're allowed to print with your Cricut, plus offering you guys a free download for my print and cut template if you don't already have it. I'll link that down below for you in the description. We're going to be using Hayes holographic paper, which is one of my favorite brands. The ink stays on this really, really well. I also really love the color. You can see that this is super holographic, lots of color shift, really, really pretty and super durable. So I'll link this down below as well with a coupon code so you can save a little bit when you shop with them. So without further ado, let's get started. I want to make some really cute stickers for this, so I found these adorable like potion bottles that I thought would be perfect to show you how we make stickers using our Cricut Joy Xtra, because these have some areas that we're going to need to address to make sure that they cut really well. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to download the SVGs, or these are PNGs, and I'm going to put them into my Halloween folder and click save. Now I do need to extract my folder or unzip. It means the same thing. And I'm going to click extract all and then simply click the word extract. It's going to open up my folder, and now I have all of my designs. Now I can close the other folder, and I'm going to pull all my images from this folder here. And I'm just going to pick a couple of them. I'm not going to print all of them out, but I will pick a few of them to show you how to work with them over in Cricut Design Space. Here in Cricut Design Space, we're going to need to upload our images. So to do that, simply click upload, then click upload image. Now I could browse for it, or I left the folder open, so I'm just going to drag and drop my design. I'm going to just choose one that I like right off the bat, and I think I like this one with the little bat on top, so we'll go ahead and drag that one. Now this is a PNG with a transparent background, so on this screen here where you could like delete spaces and things like that, we aren't going to need to do any of that. We'll just go ahead and click apply and continue. Now I want you to note something in this design. Do you see how this right here is see-through? It means it's transparent. We're going to need to address that before we cut out our stickers so that we make sure that everything stays in place, because otherwise we'll lose the eyes and the nose for our skull. Now I'm doing print and cut with this, so I want to save this as a flat graphic, and I'm going to click continue. In this screen, I can change the name, add it to collections, whatever I want to do, and then just simply click upload, and that's going to put it into my canvas. Now I'm going to do the same for a couple of the other stickers, which I'll just do really quickly so that you don't have to sit here and watch me do them. I also want to point something out to you. Did you notice that every single time I upload something that this image thing opens on this side? That is something new that Cricut's doing. It's awful. If you hate it as much as I do, send them feedback and let them know how much we hate it. So I'm going to first select everything on my screen, and I'm just going to make them all a width of 5 inches just so that they're smaller so that we can see them a little bit better. And I'm just going to pull everybody into their own space. So again, we can see everybody a little better. I might need to make them a little bit smaller, but that's okay. We'll just kind of scooch them all over. Now you can see all of our different designs here. We've got our little bats, we've got skulls and everything, but remember I told you that this skull was transparent. I'm going to go ahead and change the color of my canvas to just something very contrasting so that you can see the color of the canvas through that, meaning that that is a transparent area. So if you were to cut out your stickers just as they are, it's going to cut the center part out, and then that'll leave like the eyes and the nose as separate pieces, which just simply doesn't really work when you're using this for stickers. If you were cutting this on just plain vinyl, having separate pieces like that really isn't a big deal. Slightly annoying, sure, but it's not like the end of the world. But with an actual sticker, it just doesn't work. So for that, we'll add an offset and fill it in, so don't worry. It's really easy to do this. I also want to point out some of these other stickers, like this one has these little bubbles around the edges that aren't attached to anything. They're all like separate pieces. Same with like this one with the stars and the moons, and then this one here with the lines. So by using an offset on those stickers, we are going to be able to hold everything together a lot easier. So let's start with this guy first. So I'm just going to kind of throw everything over here in a corner, and that way we can get started with this one. So I'm going to make him bigger just so you can see what we're doing a whole lot easier. All I'm going to do is I'm going to choose offset up here at the very top. Now you don't need to have Cricut access to use the offset feature, so it's a really good thing. I absolutely use offset all the time. Once you have your offset, you can change the size of it however you want to make this, but I think this is an okay size. I do want them a little bit thicker on these stickers because these are going to be holographic, so I really like having that extra holographic edge. Go ahead and click apply. Now what you're going to notice is right here we have a hole in our offset still, so we need to adjust that. What I'm going to do is you want to make sure your offset is selected here on your layers panel. And you want to change your operation to basic cut, which is the top one right here. Now it is going to turn gray. Don't worry, we're going to change the color and all that in just a second. Go ahead and click contour, which is down here in the lower section of your layers panel. Then you either click your little hole in your contour right here, or you can click it on the screen here, and that will close that up. And now you notice that it's solid. I'm going to go ahead and change this to white, but you can honestly have it print a color if you prefer. But like I said, since I'm doing these on holographic, I prefer to have that little holographic edge. Once you've got all of that set and you notice that you don't have any transparent areas, you're going to select both the items, the offset and your sticker, and then you can go to flatten. Now you'll notice that there's no black outline around your white offset anymore. That just indicates that it is a print and cut item. And you'll notice here that you just have one layer that is your bat design and your offset. Then from here, you can resize it to whatever size you need. I'll resize them in a minute. Now I'm going to grab this guy here because this one also has some of these areas that are not attached to anything. So I want to show you the offset on that as well. So again, I'm just going to go to offset and I'm going to let it process that offset. Now this can take a minute depending on Design Space and depending on your design. If they're really high quality, it can take offset a minute. Once that one has processed, I'm going to go ahead and click apply. Now again, you're going to notice that it does come up black. That's just the default. And then I'm going to go ahead and change this to white. This one doesn't have any transparent areas, so we can go ahead and select the whole thing and flatten it. And then again, I'm just going to size it down a little bit. Now I do want to pull, I think this one out. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that that offset's going to cover everything. If it doesn't, you can just make your offset a little bit bigger. If you need to make sure that all of your pieces of your sticker and your design are all attached. You don't want any parts that are not touching under the offset. So I just want to show you with this one, we do have a few of those little transparent areas, which is fine. Again, we'll just contour them out, but everything is touching, which is what we want. That way nothing comes out as its own separate piece. So just to reiterate, you go and change this to a basic cut, go down to contour. You can either click all your little dots or hit hide all contours. That also works. Go ahead and change your basic cut here to white and then make it a print and cut. Select your items and don't do that. If you do that, just hit undo. Select both items and you're going to go ahead and flatten them. So I'll go ahead and do the other couple offsets really quick, and then I'll show you how we get these all set up to be printed. Now I have uploaded my letter or my printable template here to Design Space. Now you want to make sure that you size it to the size listed on your template. If you've downloaded it recently, it has the right sizes. It should be 7.43 by 9.927. This is an old version. I've never uploaded my new one, but I'll link down below where you can grab this because it is completely free on my website and it comes with all of the print and cut sizes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to send this to the back so that it's behind all of my stickers. Now what you'll do is you're going to line up all your stickers onto your sheet. Now this can be used for stickers, for cardstock, whatever you're printing on, whatever printable material you're using. And you just appropriately size your sticker for whatever size you want it to be, or your image, I should say. Now you can put these anywhere on the sheet. You just want to make sure that these boxes, which are these gray bounding boxes, are within the sticker sheet area. So I'm just going to size these down. I don't know that I want to make these huge. I use these for different things. Like I'll put these in mystery bags for crochet, all sorts of stuff. So they don't have to be big. I usually do like 1.5 to 2 inches depending on the design. So one thing that you want to note when you're creating these is that you don't want them to overlap at all. You want to leave a little bit of space between each of your sticker designs. That way it's going to be able to cut around them a little bit easier. So like this one here, they're really, really close. I probably wouldn't recommend keeping them quite that close together. So you just want to leave enough space to where your design isn't going to overlap any of the other designs. Now I'm just going to kind of size these. Again, I don't care if they're all the same size. I don't care if they are perfect. If you need them to be a correct size, then yeah, obviously do that. But for me, I'm just going to kind of play around with them, make as many fit as I can, and then we'll go from there. So all I want to do is I'm just going to duplicate these, and then I'm just going to see, like, can I fit another one over here? Certainly I can. I do try to make like an even number of each sticker. So I'll try to make, 3 of this one, 3 of that one, 3 of this one, just so I have a good variety when I make my stickers. But you do what works for you and how you want yours to feel, to do, whatever. Sometimes if you flip them upside down, they might also fit better. It just depends on the design that you're using. Like that one's going to be a little small at that size, so I'm just going to size him up a little, and you'll see that like I can scoot him over just a smidge, and now I can actually fit that a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and get these all fit to our sticker sheet, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we're done, right before we're ready to print. Okay, I have this thing really, really filled. Actually, I think I need to move this up just a smidge, but you can see how many I was able to fit on here. I could fit a bunch of like smaller ones too, like within like these little areas, but it's fine. I'm not worried about it. So what I'm going to do is go all the way down here to the bottom, find the layer that is the template and hide that. Then I'm going to select all of my stickers, and I'm going to go ahead, and you can do this one of two ways. You can either attach them, which is totally a way that works, but you can also use the flatten option and flatten them all together. Cricut Design Space will still know to cut around each individual sticker, but sometimes it can make Design Space run a little bit better. Now, once I've done that, I am going to hit save just so I can make sure that none of my work is lost in the process of the saving, the making, all of that, because sometimes Design Space freaks out, especially when there's a lot of information like these stickers. Once I've saved my project, I'm going to go ahead and hit make. Now it's going to take us over to the screen that shows what it's going to look like when we print. You'll notice this screen has our stickers on it. Now I'm going to point this out to you. This big black line is not going to cut or print, and neither will the red line. That just shows you your cuttable area, and then the black line just shows you the edges of your stickers. So from here, click continue. Now again, this might take a second to load when you have a lot on there. What you're going to do is choose send to printer. Now this is where it's going to really show you what it looks like when it prints. You'll see that we have our 4 sensor marks here. So you have the one that has the arrow, which is what's going to show you which way to put it into your machine, and then you'll have your other 3. Then click next from here. Now for this one, you're going to need to be using a printer that is compatible with your materials. I have an inkjet printer, which really has the most compatibility when it comes to materials. I'm going to make sure to select the correct one that I want to use, which is the ET2720. The other one is my sublimation printer. I am going to turn bleed off because these have a white offset, so bleed does absolutely nothing when your edge of your stickers are white. Bleed is for when your stickers have color all the way to the edge. It'll push a little bit of color out past the edges so that when it cuts, if it cuts slightly off, you won't have any white showing. But because these ones are white anyways, the bleed doesn't do anything. The next really important thing you're going to do is you're going to use your system dialog. You want to make sure you turn that on, and when you click print, it's not going to send this to your printer. It will actually take you to your printer preferences, which is exactly what we want it to do. Now for this, again, you're going to want to make sure you have your correct printer selected and then go to preferences. Now I'm using some holographic sticker paper for this. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have this set to my correct settings. So I want to make sure that I change my paper from plain paper. I like to use the photo paper glossy setting for this one. And then I change my standard from my quality from standard to high. Then I do one more setting under more options. I turn off high speed print. If for some reason you do not have all of these options, it's because your printer drivers were not installed correctly. So you'll want to go to your printer manufacturer's website, find the drivers for your printer and install them. Then you'll have all these settings. From here, click OK and click print to send it to your printer. Then we'll head over to our Cricut Joy Xtra and we'll get these printed out. We're going to be cutting these holographic stickers on the Joy Xtra. So like always, you want to make sure that you're going to load it with this little corner that has the arrow pointing in. So I'm going to put this on my mat. I'm just going to tuck it on here. Now I am using an A4 paper, which I did print with the letter size. You absolutely can do that, as you can see. So just keep that in mind. Now I'm going to go ahead and load this. This does not have any buttons, so it just has that sensor that will load it. This does, however, have a sensor to read your registration marks. Now I'm going to tell you that I have done holographic stickers in this and had 0 issues. So by Cricut sitting there saying that you have to use white paper, it's a dirty lie. If you do have issues, I do recommend a lot of light in your room. You're going to be a lot better off with a lot more light. Once it's done cutting, I always just double check to make sure it looks like it cut the stickers pretty well. Now this one I knew was likely not going to cut through, which is fine because I don't care. They can be a sticker sheet, but I'm just going to kind of just give them a double check and make sure they cut. They did. They look great. So I'm going to head to my computer and unload. Now I will say the one thing that I don't love about the Cricut Joy is the fact that you can't recut. So if I wanted these to be die cut stickers, I messed them up completely, but that's okay. It's no big deal. They are just fine as is. Now they did cut through in a few little spots. There are some like little edges that it cut through, but these are okay without being a full die cut. I'm going to dust them off a little bit because they do tend to get, for whatever reason, this holographic paper just gets a little dusty with some of the machines, but otherwise I think it came out super cute. So I'm gonna get you guys an up close look so you can really see what these look like. These came out really, really cute and again, super colorful, which I love on this holographic. Be sure to use the coupon code down below to save if you want to order from Hayes with their holographic paper. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure to grab those free printable templates that you can use in Cricut Design Space for all the different sizes of your prints. Also linked down below. It's completely free. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.